Now you can search for new episodes by subject matter at londonreal.tv. Brought to you by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform we use at London Real. I listened to a lot of old Terence McKenna lectures, courtesy of the Psychedelic Salon, Lorenzo over there. He keeps finding these lectures. It's like Terence never stopped talking in a weird way. I know you knew Terence back in the day. I know he had his own opinions on MDMA. You didn't agree with a lot of them.
No, I didn't.
But
he had a romantic notion about if it's from nature, it's good, and if it's from the lab, it's not so good.
Right. I'd like to think he would have changed his mind by now. But I'm not sure. But, he talks a lot of this dominator culture. He kind of puts it in that perspective, because I don't think he likes to say like male dominated, but just like a dominator culture as opposed to a cooperating culture. Yeah. And, he's got a lot of interesting theories about, used to have the psychedelics ingested in the orgiastic behavior and, people not knowing necessarily who their direct descendants were and how it was more of a tribe. Mm-hmm. But, I look at sometimes the world and it just feels like this ridiculous dominator culture. And sometimes, and maybe it's because of my experience with psychedelics, I just turn on MTV and I see gold chains and big cars, and then I turn on CNN and I see Putin moving into Ukraine, and I'm just like, is anyone else seeing this massive dominator culture that's not making anyone happy? I don't know.
I think tens of millions, hundreds of millions of people are seeing it, and there's this growing sense about economic inequality and and also you could say the good side of global warming and climate change is that people realize that the problems we have transcend normal national boundaries or religious boundaries. And so we have this growing globalization and this growing sense that the challenges that we face require solutions that will involve cooperation among people who are nominally different from each other and live in different countries. And so I think there's, on the one hand, a growing sense of crisis, environmental crisis, economic crisis, military crisis, and at the same time, the sense of our interrelatedness and how we have to focus more on the human aspects of cooperation. And also, we read about the incredible technological developments that have been in terms of energy, new sources of energy, new sources of food, new sources of products, so that it seems as if the planet is capable of supporting the number of people that we have if we had a more equitable distribution of resources and a more sustainable society, and we focused not so much on perpetual growth but on providing for basic needs in ways that last a long time and give people actually more leisure time. But the idea there is that there is an opportunity, I think, for the unit of consciousness, for the psychedelic experiences to be integrated into our culture now. There's a great need, whereas during the 60s it was so new and so novel, and in many, many different ways our culture wasn't prepared for it.
Right, I've heard this talked about, and it was the tune in, turn on, drop out. Let's walk away from the rest of society. Let's do our own thing. Let's not integrate it. There were a lot of things that were potentially done wrong, right? Even people talk about taking psychedelics in a very egotistical way. I've read old documents about that, where it wasn't all about this, ayahuasca, big tribal love. It was ego trips and a lot of being used for bad purposes, or I don't know, maybe this is just anecdotes.
Even it's still that way too. There's a lot of shamanistic approaches that are about power and not so much about healing.
Okay. This is, I did not expect you to talk about this stuff today because, so much of what you do is, you're at the front lines, you're like on the front lines in the hand-to-hand combat, battling these big organizations trying to get these trials done. If people had any idea the kind of work you do to get to phase 1 to phase 2 and
slow,
all of the slowness, the fact that the federal government was against any kind of marijuana studies for a long time, which would seem so counterintuitive based on some of the states' legalizations. But it's interesting to hear you talking about psychedelics in a really worldly macro sense. Is this new for you? Or?
No, this is what motivated me as an 18-year-old.
All right.
But then you get down to practicalities and what's your strategy and what's the next step. And, for me, the whole Kennedy School of Government at Harvard, trying to get my master's and PhD, that was about trying to find practical steps to build bridges between this sort of idealistic, visionary, hippie-ish kind of thought that if we can promote consciousness change and help people move from fundamentalist perspectives to more mystical perspectives and more tolerance, that the keys to human survival are here in our hands. We have the technologies, but we don't have the social skills or the spiritual basis to really manage what we have well. So that's what made me think that when I was turning 18 and was this draft resistor, and what would I devote myself to? And it felt like the most highly leveraged area was consciousness change, because it can ripple out and affect all the different projects.
Okay.
So
We take real pride in our websites and who we work with on the show, and those are the guys at Squarespace. They've been running our website londonreal.tv and our siliconreal.com for over a year now, and they are an all-in-one platform to make it fast and easy to build your own professional website or portfolio. These guys have the tech down. It's drag and drop. It is easy. I used to run a WordPress site, and I used to have to FTP audio files and all this nonsense. And now when you see these blogs that I write every week where I talk to you about my personal impressions of the guests, I literally just bust those out, drop the picture in, boom, and it's done.